Hi, it's Kerry. Today we are looking at the top 10 most deadly and dangerous herbivore dinosaurs. I'm presenting them in alphabetical order, although I think Ankylosaurus has to be number 1. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Give a thumbs up if you like dinosaurs. Amargasaurus lived during the early Cretaceous period. It grew to about 33 feet long or 10 meters and weighed up to 3 tons. Amargasaurus had 2 rows of distinctive spines along its neck, back and tail. These were almost certainly used for defense, especially the ones on its neck, which were sharp and tapered. When defending itself, these hardened long spines may have slashed deep wounds into a predator's body, causing massive bleeding. The tallest spine was 60 centimeters or 24 inches long. The spines may also have been used for display, combat, intimidation, or to regulate body temperature. To be one of the first to know about new videos, tap the bell icon and enable notifications. Ankylosaurus. I'm also going to group Euoplocephalus with it as well. They lived in the late Cretaceous period. I've grouped them together because they're very similar. They were prehistoric tanks with wrecking balls at the ends of their tails. Oval plates protected the whole body except the underbelly. It would defend itself by swinging its club-like tail from side to side. The club-like tail could swing with enough force to break the leg bones of the most feared carnivores, including T-Rex. Flipping it over was the only way to wound it. They grew to about 20 feet long, 5 feet wide, and 5.5 feet tall at the hip, weighing around 3 to 4 tons with short legs. Notice the rear legs are larger than the front ones. They also had a short neck and a wide skull. These plates and the 2 rows of spikes along its body, a horned head and a club-like tail protected them well from predators. Apatosaurus lived during the late Jurassic period and was one of the largest land animals to ever walk the earth. The average adult Apatosaurus was longer than 2 buses and weighed as much as 4 adult African elephants. Its huge size would have been intimidating. The Apatosaurus tail was a formidable weapon. It was like a giant whip and could snap with enough force to shatter bones of attacking theropods like Allosaurus or Ceratosaurus, or even cause death or a more serious injury with a blow to the head. It held its head 17 feet off the ground, which would have given it protection from Allosaurus, who grew to 15 feet tall, and predators would have kept clear of the scary whip-like tail and clawed feet. Argentinosaurus lived during the Middle Cretaceous period. It grew to 98 feet long and weighed about 73 tons. Argentinosaurus may be the largest dinosaur to ever exist. It had a long neck, a long tail, and a small head. It was very similar to Apatosaurus, but much larger. Not a lot is known about this dinosaur, as only a few fossilized bones have been found so far. Argentinosaurus laid eggs about the size of a rugby ball. Brachiosaurus was one of the tallest and largest dinosaurs. It had a long neck, small head with its nostrils on top of its head, and a short, thick tail. It was about 85 feet long and weighed up to 88 tons. Brachiosaurus walked on 4 legs. Notice that the front legs were longer than its hind legs. The longer front legs and its very long neck made Brachiosaurus look rather giraffe-like, reaching heights of up to 40 to 50 feet tall. Most predators like Allosaurus and Ceratosaurus were half its size. Its best defense was size plus their clawed feet and tail. Each foot had 5 toes with a long sharp claw on the first toe of each front foot and claws on the first 3 toes of each rear foot. Notice on the front feet, the toes are long and column-like in a vertical position, giving extra height. Diplodocus lived in the late Jurassic period, and its name means double-beamed. Diplodocus was also equipped with a slender 20-foot-long tail that it may have been able to crack like a whip to keep predators like Allosaurus at a distance. Its powerful elephant-like legs and clawed feet could easily stomp down on predators that got in its way. Diplodocus is the longest dinosaur known from a near-complete skeleton, which was about 90 feet, which is 27.5 meters long. Its head was less than 2 feet long, with the nostrils on top of the head. This is Dracorex. It lived during the late Cretaceous period. It was a pachycephalosaur or bone-headed dinosaur. It is easily recognized by its long, thick, flat skull with spiky horns, bumps, and a long muzzle. Its name means Dragon King. It was a medium-sized dinosaur and grew to about 13 feet. It had 3-toed feet. This model shows it had osteoderms. Pentaceratops lived in the late Cretaceous period. Its name means five-horned face. Pentaceratops was a rhinoceros-like dinosaur. It walked on four sturdy legs and had three horns on its face, along with a large bony frilled plate projecting from the back of its skull. One upward-pointing horn above its parrot-like beak and two longer forward-pointing horns above its eyes probably provided protection from predators. It had the largest known skull ever found for a land-dwelling animal. The skull grew to 9.8 feet, which is about 3 meters long. I'm just moving my Stegosaurus so we can see them better. Stegosaurus lived in the late Jurassic period. There are 17 bony plates on its back and a heavily spiked tail for protection. The largest plates were 2 feet long. The plates may have been used to regulate the dinosaur's temperature, or for protection or mating display purposes, or even to intimidate predators. They certainly were not placed well to use in defense. Notice the back legs are longer than the front ones, which sprawled out to the sides. The deadly tail spikes could grow to 4 feet long. The tail was a lethal weapon. The forespikes could be swung under the unprotected belly of a predator with deadly force. The front feet had 5 toes with hoof-like tips, and the rear feet had 3 short wide toes with hooves. It may have been able to rear up on its large hind legs to get to vegetation. It could grow to about 30 feet long and 9 feet tall and weigh nearly 7 tons. Its skull was long, pointed and narrow, and it had a toothless beak and small cheek teeth. Its head was carried close to the ground, about 3 feet high off the ground. Stegosaurus had armor-like plates on the skin of the neck, the hips, and possibly on the sides of some species. Styracosaurus lived during the late Cretaceous period. It had 6 long spiked horns extending from its neck frill, with smaller horns above each eye and a 2-foot-long horn protruding from its nose. These spikes and the horn probably provided protection from predators. When threatened by a predator, Styracosaurus may have charged into its enemy like a modern-day rhinoceros and used its long snout horn for protection by attempting to gore the predator. It could grow to 20 feet long and 6 feet tall, weighing about 4 tons. Triceratops lived in the late Cretaceous period and grew to 30 feet in length and 7 feet tall at the hips. It was the dominant herbivore of its time. It had a large skull up to 10 feet long. When threatened, Triceratops would charge into its enemy like a rhinoceros. Triceratops was quite fearsome to look at, with its large bony frill, 3 horns, and its massive size. It used its massive head and horns to protect it from enemies, which would have included Allosaurus and of course T-Rex. Triceratops was the very largest of all the horned dinosaurs. Triceratops is the biggest and best known of all ceratopsians. Its 3 magnificent horns give it its name. The horn cones are covered in a bony sheath that makes them seem much bigger. The neck frill protects the back of the skull and is bordered by little knobs of bone. Thank you for watching my video. It really helps if you're able to share my videos on any of the social media sites that you like to visit. See you again soon.